Have you ever sat down to watch a movie recently and left feeling like there's something different to it? I mean, why does a modern movie feel different than an older movie? It's nostalgia. I mean, that's one really easy answer to this question everyone seems to have, but it's not really just nostalgia. Sure, maybe you watched Cars back when it released in 2006 and absolutely loved it, but let's be honest, there are people out there, and I mean more than you'd expect, that don't like it. It's nostalgia that has kept this franchise going years later, not its stellar reviews or deep and incredibly well-written plot. No, it's because you remember the feelings of watching the movie you loved years ago. It's the same thing with the Star Wars prequels. Remember when we looked at these movies as if they were bad? Well, now you have a new punching bag, and as kids that saw these movies decades ago become older, now you have nostalgia for these films, and now the general consensus has changed because a loud group of nostalgic adults look fondly on it. It's no coincidence that we suddenly look back on movies we liked as kids that most others didn't like and think, hey, this is underrated. I'm not saying every movie we watched as a kid is something only that generation liked. I mean, just look at the Lego Movie, a beautiful film that uses creativity to propel its already well-written plot. Sure, I'll admit a lot of my love for this film is from nostalgia, but at least in this case, the reviews reflect more than just that as a kid I loved it. But as I said in the beginning, nostalgia is not the only reason why older movies hit differently, but another huge benefactor is looking into why movies generally just look, feel, and are more original as they were back when, I don't know, Shrek came out. Let's actually look at Shrek really quickly. With a fifth movie on its way, this series has evolved, and what better place to look at that than watching the actual teaser for the new movie. This is not 2001 Shrek, and it doesn't seem like it's necessarily trying to be. It's more of an out with the old and in with the new because the medium of animation has changed drastically since the original movie came out. I'm not saying that the original movie doesn't hold up, because it definitely still does, but think about it like this. 9/11, a terrorist attack that happened back in 2001, is younger than the first Shrek movie. Take a look at the camera quality compared from back in 2001 to now. If you don't see a massive increase in quality, you may genuinely be blind, or just listening to this video while you're doing other things around the house. Don't think I don't see you. My point here is that Shrek back in 2001 would not be easy to replicate to have the same nostalgic feeling as it does now. Because instead of the complimentary and beautifully designed ugly look of the original Shrek, it made it feel refreshing then, but after its major impact, we just have more scenes in other movies that match it in certain aspects. 9 years later, we have 4 full Shrek movies, and wouldn't you know, Shrek Forever After is another movie that's looked back fondly thanks to everyone's favorite crab. Here's the thing though, Shrek Forever After came out 16 years ago, and now with so much time in between 4 and 5 and a highly respected, beautifully made Puss in Boots: The Last Wish, we now have Shrek 5 wanting to attempt something different. My conclusion to this is that as nostalgia hits us, we want to hate it just because of its differences. But think about it like this. Someday there will be kids who look back on Shrek 5's art style direction and say, you know, thank God they changed it up. This style is 10 times better than back in 2001. And is that necessarily a bad thing? I wouldn't say so, because as I mentioned, if we look at picture quality back in 2001 to now, why wouldn't a multi-billion-dollar company want to spice things up and show how high-tech their animation looks nowadays instead of back then? Speaking of Puss in Boots: The Last Wish, go follow my TikTok or second channel link in the description, because I've been making some really cool edits of different movies we all love, and they've been turning out really well. So please go check that out, and of course, if you are enjoying this video, why not like, comment, hype, and subscribe, because that'll tell me if you want to see a part 2 to this video. Moving away from Shrek and its looks, we can move on to the feeling of older films. Sure, Shrek would be another good example, but that would be boring to just talk about one movie for one video, so let's spice things up. Watch this. If a movie generally consists of family, there will most likely be some sort of generational trauma attached to it. If a movie is about adventure, it's going to be about being brave or overcoming self-doubt. If a movie is about people not getting along, but then getting along in the end, it'll most likely be messaging about friendship or kindness. Of course, all these messages are good for people to learn, but there are a bunch of more themes that are portrayed in Disney movies that even outside of them too, just start turning into the same thing. But that's where older movies' messaging comes into play and why it was different. In 2002, the original Lilo and Stitch came out to massive success. I mean, tell me you have no clue what this thing is named without having your fingers crossed behind your back. For as many iconic moments this movie has, let's be clear, this movie is about something much deeper than you remember as a kid. Heck, even I didn't even remember any of this really harsh stuff until the remake came out and everyone started making points of it. To look at it like this, Nani, Lilo's older sister, is arguably the most important character to the movie's overall message of foster parenting. The dark reality of it is that she has given up her entire life to take care of Lilo, and as a kid we view the movie through Lilo's perspective, but as we get older, we view the movie through Nani's perspective and understand a new thing to appreciate about the movie, making it something that as a kid we like, and even as an adult we like even more because we understand how deeper this film was when we initially didn't understand the concept of social workers and foster parents. This can't really be said about the remake. To give a short summary on how Nani's character is butchered beyond comparison, in the end of the movie, Ohana doesn't mean family and no one is left behind. It now means family is worth leaving behind if it means you benefit from it. It's a character assassination of Nani regardless of if it was her choice and only her choice to go off to college. It's not the problem that she went to college, but the point of the first movie was Nani learning to accept that her place is to be Lilo's guardian. But now they take that message and cater it towards more of a follow your dreams theme than a love your family theme, completely missing the point of the original. It's the idea, in fact, that modern movies are more sanitized because they don't trust younger audiences to get it. And sure, I'm sure a lot of us didn't realize all the struggles Nani had back when we first watched the movie when we were kids, but that's because it allows everyone to be able to get something different out of it, whereas these remakes are here to take that messaging that may be too challenging or too mature and turn them into your general follow your dreams, be brave, and don't judge a book by its cover themes. There's no problem with teaching these, but it's more of a statement on how dark topics aren't really allowed to be explored anymore, and that's why sometimes when walking out of a movie, we don't feel much, because we just got spoon-fed the same messaging over and over again, keeping the same feel as what works and less of what people should understand. To close out this video, the originality of modern movies are much different than how they were in older films. Yes, original movies are still coming out. It's not just sequels or remakes, but let's be clear, how many movies did you see in 2025 that were original? I counted mine, and it was 16 out of 51 movies. 31% of the movies I saw last year were original. Years ago, we were used to giving these things a chance, but you know, now it doesn't really seem that way, and I think the best example is Elio. Elio is actually not as bad as the flopping that followed it makes it out to be. It's a Pixar movie, and Pixar is known for having extremely successful original movies. And sure, I'm not going to go out and claim that Elio is actually better than WALL-E, but there was nothing in the trailer of Elio that should have made people so appalled that they would refuse to watch something like it. It's actually more of a commentary on our trust towards originality. I think some people have the wrong idea. It's not that people don't want to go see original movies, it's more that when given the choice to purchase a $10 movie ticket, you are more inclined to see a sequel of something you already liked the first of than something you're not totally sure will actually speak to you. This oddly becomes a video designed around talking about inflation, but even I don't even care to talk about that, but there is one last thing I want to make note of. The Lego movie isn't necessarily original, but we kind of have to think about what we consider original at this point. Because I am making this video and because I like the Lego movie, I want to give it some love a decade later. The Lego movie is a smash success because it's not original. People love Legos, and people love Batman, and people love animation, and people love blah 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 blah. I mean, everything Lego has ever made is in this and appeals to that nostalgia, but there's one really neat thing about it. It uses its unoriginality to basically become an original movie in its own sense. We have Lego people, sure, but does that make all animation unoriginal because Snow White did it first? It's basically its own thing that uses Lego pieces as its animation, connecting to how Lego is built on creativity. Hence, the messaging of the movie too. It matches its story to the product without having the product be the thing you love most about the film. The Lego movie, although not as old as other examples like Toy Story or something like that, speaks to a more modern sense of nostalgia as people start to remember how good this movie is. And it doesn't use the other IPs it has in the movie like a crutch, but more of a way to diversify what the movie is allowed to do and make fun of. The core characters outside of Batman are people that no one cared for before they were in this movie, but then people found a newfound love for just the side characters in Lego when they're given so much personality. This is the basics of why the Lego movie is so unoriginally original and plays with the sense that it's not necessarily we're looking at the Lego movie like an IP movie, but we're more looking at it as an original film that was pushed into the public opinion because it's centered around Legos. The reason why older movies hit different is because of nostalgia, sure, but it's also because movies are just different now. They are more complex, they tackle different subjects, and even though I've focused on some of the negatives like Disney's same old messaging, look at studios like A24 further pushing a new sense of what a film can look like and feel like. With that said, thank you everybody for watching. I'm Enchanted. Bye.